What if one drop of blood could change everything? That's what Elizabeth Holmes promised, a miracle that would transform healthcare as we knew it. A sleek machine, smaller than a toaster, capable of running hundreds of tests from a single drop of blood. No needles, no vials, no fear. It was beautiful. It was visionary. It was a lie. But before the world knew that, they believed in her. The media crowned her the next Steve Jobs. She wore black turtlenecks, spoke in a calculated baritone, and pitched a story that was too good to resist. By her early 30s, Elizabeth Holmes had become the world's youngest self-made female billionaire. She had the money, the power, and the promise of revolution. But none of it was real. Let's rewind. In 2003, Elizabeth Holmes dropped out of Stanford University at just 19 years old. She had taken a course in microfluidics technology, dealing with very small volumes of fluids, and came up with an idea. A portable blood testing device that could screen for hundreds of diseases with just a pinprick of blood. Inspired by a fear of needles and driven by Silicon Valley's move fast and break things mentality, she believed diagnostics were the next big frontier. She called her company Theranos, a combination of therapy and diagnosis. It sounded futuristic, and that's exactly how she sold it. From day one, Holmes was laser-focused not on science, but on story. She knew how to captivate. She wasn't just offering a product. She was offering a narrative, a hero, a cause, a world-changing mission, and she delivered it with unwavering confidence. Theranos promised to democratize healthcare. Anyone, anywhere, could get fast, affordable, painless blood tests. It would eliminate the bureaucracy of labs, cut out middlemen, and empower patients. It wasn't just a company, it was a crusade. Investors didn't just buy in, they threw money at her. She raised over $700 million without showing a single peer-reviewed study or working prototype. Her board of directors was a who's who of power: former secretaries of state, retired generals, senators, billionaires, but not a single medical expert. She inked a deal with Walgreens, planning to roll out Theranos testing centers across the U.S. She was named 2 times 100 most influential people. Forbes estimated her net worth at $4.5 billion, but inside Theranos, things were unraveling. The blood testing machine called the Edison was a disaster. It could barely process 1 or 2 tests, let alone 200. Results were inconsistent. The engineering team was under crushing pressure to make it work, even if it meant faking success rather than admit failure. Holmes and her couhaned secret romantic partner, Suni Balwani, pushed harder. They demanded secrecy. Employees signed extreme NDAs. Internal messaging systems were monitored. Speaking out meant lawsuits, threats, and termination. Many who tried to sound the alarm were fired. Some were followed, others silenced. To outsiders, Theranos was thriving. The company staged demos with machines that had been preloaded with data. Visitors were shown fake results. Holmes appeared on panels with world leaders, gave TED Talks, testified before Congress. She said her technology was in use by the military. It wasn't, but no one fact-checked. They believed the myth. Meanwhile, inside labs, blood tests were being run on traditional third-party analyzers, like those made by Siemens, but the results were being passed off as coming from Theranos devices. Deception wasn't just financial, it was medical. Real patients received Theranos results, some of them frighteningly wrong. One woman was told she had cancer. Another believed she was having a miscarriage. Many received completely inaccurate data. And yet, Theranos continued to claim their tech was more accurate than traditional labs. In 2015, a Wall Street Journal reporter named John Carrero started digging. Sources inside the company, terrified but desperate, began leaking the truth. The Edison machines didn't work. The entire premise was fraudulent. The paper trail didn't add up. Holmes panicked. She hired lawyers, big ones, from David Boies to intimidation specialists. Whistleblowers were tracked, threatened, and silenced. She accused journalists of libel, but couldn't prove them wrong. Eventually, the dam broke. The FDA, CMS, and other regulatory bodies launched investigations. Walgreens pulled out, investors sued, employees quit. The media turned. In 2016, Holmes was banned from operating a lab for 2 years. In 2018, she and Balwani were indicted on multiple counts of wire fraud and conspiracy. They had misled investors, doctors, patients, and regulators for nearly a decade. The trial was a spectacle. Holmes painted herself as a visionary who got in over her head. She claimed Sonny had been abusive, controlling, and manipulative. He denied everything, but emails, internal messages, and witness testimonies told a damning story. In 2022, Holmes was found guilty on 4 counts of fraud. She was sentenced to 11 years and 3 months in federal prison. Balwani received nearly 13 years. Theranos was dissolved. Its patents sold. Its labs emptied. Its myth shattered. But what makes this story terrifying isn't just the full, it's how far Holmes rose without ever showing proof. Theranos had no working product, no published research, no clinical trials, but it had a narrative. And in Silicon Valley, a good story is worth more than truth. The Theranos saga is a warning. In a world obsessed with disruption, charisma can blind us, hype can silence reason, vision can become illusion. Elizabeth Holmes didn't build a machine. She built a mirage, and for a while it worked. She fooled billionaires, she fooled scientists, she fooled the media, she fooled Congress. But most of all, she fooled the system that was too enamored with innovation to ask hard questions. The fall of Theranos isn't just the story of a fraud, it's the story of what happens when ambition outpaces ethics, when belief replaces evidence, and when power protects lies. Behind the black turtleneck, behind the glowing headlines, behind the billions of dollars, was one very simple truth. The machine never worked, and no amount of charisma could fix that.